She was fun. She's a really fun girl, lovely girl. We were close, yeah, because there was just like the 2 years between us, so we were very close.
On the 29th of January 1976, Tracey Patient was walking home from her friend's house in Chilcot Road. She was heading back to her parents' place in Henderson. It was only a very short walk.
I can remember it clearly. I can remember coming back. She wasn't home. She was about half hour later, I think, than she was supposed to have been. And Dad and I went out in the car, just went around Henderson in the town and just looking around and couldn't find her.
It was early 1976. The Patient family had moved out from England 2 years earlier. Tracey was only 13. She had a younger sister, Denise, and an older sister, Debbie.
We just used to hang out, just go around with friends, or quite often have friends around to our house as well, or all of us go down to Glendine, go to the milk bar, do you call it? Like, you know, we get your milkshakes and stuff like that. Go to the cinema. On Saturdays, get the bus into the city.
It was summertime, it was the school holidays. It was a Thursday evening and the weather was fine. It was a large concert on at Western Springs with the international band the Doobie Brothers were playing. So a large number of people had gone to Western Springs and they were heading back throughout the evening. There were people out walking their dogs. It was a pleasant evening, so there were a lot of people around.
We had a bit of a problem getting home on time, so we were grounded. And I really wanted to go to the Doobie Brothers concert, and I nagged at Mum. And in the end, she'd sort of said, okay, you can go. And obviously couldn't then sort of turn Tracey down if she wanted to do something. She wanted to go to her friend Lynette's. So Mum said she could go. So basically that evening, and that's the last time I saw her, we were walking up the road, and that was it.
Tracey never made it home. The following morning, her body was found dumped in the bush up in the Waitakaris. She'd been strangled with a stocking and her body discarded in the bush. She's only 13.
And then the next day in the morning, can't remember what time it was, Mum and Denise and myself were sitting in the living room. Denise was on my lap. And Dad came home. You could see he was really upset. And Denise said, when's Tracey coming home? And my dad said, she's not. And what do you mean she's not? And he said, someone killed her. And just burst into tears. And I can just remember my sister, you know, she was only sort of 8, just going, no. And she says she remembers that me taking her into the bedroom. I don't really remember much after that, to be honest.
There was an inquiry base set up at the old Scout Hall there in the middle of Henderson, and they carried out an extensive number of inquiries. People in the community who were known to police, and also lots of nominations from the public of people they suspected could be involved. Despite the police looking at over 850 suspects in the last 40 years, the offender has never been identified. This person has never been brought to account for this horrendous crime.
That's one of, well, a regret of my life, obviously, that I nagged my mum to go to this blinking concert. But when she said bye, I never, because she was walking up the road slightly behind me, and I never turned around. I just went, oh, okay, bye, see you later, and went off. And I just so regret not turning around. You know, you looking back, how are you supposed to know that's the last time you're going to see somebody?
Tracey's family feel like this only just happened yesterday. Despite 40 years passing, for them it is very real. It was their daughter, their sister, and for her life to end like that, to be snatched away from them. As I say, it still affects them to this day as if it only occurred yesterday.
Our driveway, you went up a kind of almost like a slope to get to the driveway, and I just keep looking, and I remember saying to someone, I just keep thinking, because she was a bit of a practical joker, and I like, she's going to just come walking up and go, I fooled you, you know, it's a joke. And then at night time, you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning, and it's like about 2 seconds before you realise, and it's like, oh, you know, you think you've had a dream or something. Just awful, so hard to cope with. So hard to cope with.
I'm pleased to say that the investigation into Tracey's death has been resumed full-time. We have had 8 police staff working on this since mid-November. We're following up on new information and also reviewing information from the original inquiry to try and identify this offender. We would love to be able to solve this case, to catch Tracey's killer, to let the family, after all these years, know what happened to their little girl.
On Sunday, well, Mum and Dad have asked if I will go and lay some flowers. Where Tracey was found. I've never been there. I know in this day and age that's what people do if someone dies of an accident. You sort of put flowers there and that, but in those days you just didn't do it. And to be honest, I don't think I could have done. But that's what I'm going to do. What they did was wrong, it was very wrong. They took a child's life. However many years it's been, this person's had a life, he's probably got a family, you know, he's running around happy as Larry, he's got off with murder.
Time can't diminish or minimise this terrible crime. Tracey was only 13 years old, she would have been 53 now. She never got to be a mother, a wife, and what happened to her was absolutely horrendous.
I'd love to be able to say, like they do, I forgive you. I don't forgive that person at all. I hope that person's had an awful, awful life. I really do. Sorry. I hope they've thought about it, if not every day. I hope it's been on their mind. And I would love for them to give themselves up.
Someone out there knows who was responsible for this. Loyalties change over time, and we want that key information to come through to us. We've got an 0800 number. It's 0800 000 111. We want people to phone us.
My younger sister Denise, who was 8 when Tracey was killed, has written something here that I'd like to read out to you, if that's okay. The saddest thing for me is that I can't remember my sister. Whether that was due to my age when it happened or my memory blocking out the part in New Zealand, I don't know. And to put that down on paper really hurts because I feel so guilty that I can't remember. I do have memories of the night that she went missing and my dad coming in crying, telling us what had happened. Since it happened, I've always been frightened of the dark. I vaguely remember going out one time in the dark with my family after it happened and shaking terribly. Over the years, I've had terrible nightmares of someone trying to get me and always waking up just as they catch me. Because of what's happened to our family and how it has affected me, I've tried not to be really overprotective of my children, and I'm still fighting a battle with myself when they go out, especially at night time. And I hope, as we all do, that something comes of it. Regards, Denise Marjoram.
The person responsible for this crime should come forward and speak to the police. It's been 40 years. It was a horrendous crime. I don't know how they can live with themselves. They need to come forward and get this off their chest. They need to call the police, come into the station, phone the number, make contact with us. That person should come forward. Operation Tracey. Call 0800 000 111.